Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to my video discussing how you can use things like the Scions of Evil and the new rank bonuses you get in your capital to get legendary rank units built in the capital around turn 15 or around turn 9 if you get very lucky with your map generation, which I'll explain more after I've gone over the basics. I have to thank Morgi from the multiplayer community for showcasing this strategy the day that Eldritch Realms came out. He was showcasing that he was able to do this in his cities around turn 30 or so in on his very first multiplayer game and his very first attempt to play around with the new stuff. And so we were talking about how quickly can you theoretically do this. He sent me a video file that we'll take a look at later to showcase how you can get to this kind of interaction around turn 22 on a normal game. And I figured that we could also take a look at my recording of this playthrough to see how I got to here on turn 15 to discuss the similarities and differences, as well as I think before we even dive deeply into those, we can just generally discuss how this strategy works. Like, as you can see here, this is really good. He's just max rank. He's got all 80 out of 80 experience, and he's getting all of the bonuses you get, including this extra armor, defense, and damage from this medal. And you can get similar bonuses from the elite medal. Don't get me wrong, this is very good. Having all these extra stat bonuses on top of this unit is very useful, but I was seeing Morgi was getting something like base 43 repeating damage, not 14, literally 43 repeating damage around turn 30. Let me share that window with all the screenshots that I took from this battle. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get a recording, but I did get some really great screenshots here where we can see he's doing 28, 10, and 5 damage. I think that adds up to 43 on a repeating melee strike. Very strong, very good. And the way they were able to do that was through things like Bloody Fury weapons, strengthened, and a lot of other enchantments. Later on, the damage got boosted again by the empower ability. So it was that like that's like it's more than 50 damage, isn't it? It's a lot of damage. And at another point, I think he may have even boosted it up to 60 damage through another means. I can't remember. I think actually, if he did, I probably would have gotten a screenshot of it. But yeah, Blood Fury weapons, Flame Burst weapons, Floss Blades, and Legion of Zeal, I think just add a little bit of damage on top of what you already do without taking away. Maybe Frost Blades doesn't. Frost Blades might take a little bit of physical damage away, but generally speaking, he was able to get some insane numbers off of these tier 1 units, and they were just chewing through the tier 3s. The tier 3s were not able to do as much damage as them, and they weren't able to deal as much damage to these guys because they just had so much defense and resistance across the board. Um, there may have been something about an event that also helped him get some really good modifiers here. I don't know what Sign of the Cleft Shield does. Oh, and it's important we don't forget Spawnkin. Spawnkin just boosts damage across the board, which was something I actually did with this build. I like using the Tome of the Horde for rushing out these tier 1 units because it just lets you clear fights out a little bit more easily and reliably. Also, Barbarian works very well for this strategy. I have a few other tips and thoughts I wanted to share before we jump back to turn 1 and look at this game from the very beginning. One of them is if you have the Umbral Abyss, then it's a lot easier to farm up your evil alignment, which is very important if you're trying to get the 5 ranks you need to get to legendary rank through the Scions of Evil culture. If you can get yourself to pure evil alignment, then all of a sudden you're getting not just +1 to your shield units from this, but you're getting +2 across the board, which saves you some of the building production that you would need to get to this ranking through buildings. If we just take a quick look at my buildings, I have the Smith's Guild, which is giving me +2. I've got the Armory, which is giving me +1, so that's actually +3 right there. And I think, yeah, at one point I was experimenting with deleting the Blacksmith because I think I actually don't need one of the +1s that I'm getting here. The Smith Guild took me to like +6 ranks on my tier 1 units. I'm getting 1 from Blacksmith, I'm getting 1 from the Armory, 2 from here, and then 2 more from my society culture. So it might be actually better to do some different mixture than what I have here. Like For example, you could trade out runesmiths for maybe the Umbral Disciples. That would make it easier for you to go find the Umbral dwellings and get to pure evil alignment through those Umbral dwellings. Another thing that me and Morgi were discussing was that this production bonus seems maybe a little bit too good, maybe a little bit unbalanced, and that it could maybe be limited similar to the way they're handling evolved units. Evolved units can't get to their max rank through bonuses like this because when they do, they would evolve, and they didn't want that to happen. They wanted you to actually have the units be the tier that you summon them in at for at least a few turns before you get them there. Of course, you can spend echoes as the new Mystics culture to just instantly go up to the next rank and evolve, but that takes an extra level of investment. And I think maybe a interesting place would be make it so that these guys can get up to elite rank or so without going past that, kind of like we were discussing with the evolved units. So you have to put a little bit more time and investment into getting some really powerful tier 1 units. Some of the other people that were playing with Morgi had some interesting ideas for how you could get this type of building and this kind of interaction online a little bit faster. So, like, theoretically, you could have Industrious go prospect the map to get a lot of production to get these buildings, I think, a little bit earlier than what I got here. Um, but you'd also maybe want something like Prolific Swarmers and Fable Hunters to not only grow your city quicker, but to get the bonuses that you get from clearing nodes to be a little bit greater. A lot of what I was doing in this save file was looking for production nodes, clearing them so that I could try and get my buildings online a little bit earlier. They also were saying Phantasm Warriors are a fantastic target for these types of bonuses, but they don't work in these production buildings. So I mean, Scions of Evil and the Runesmith, I think those would apply to the Phantasmars, but not to um, the building stuff wouldn't apply to them. There's other great tier 1 units outside of barbarians. I think the Anvil Guards from Industrious is very good. So it's like, yeah, Industrious would make a lot of sense here. You can get +1 ranks from the War Foundry. I think actually this is a good thing to look up because not everybody knows these tomes like like the multiplayers do. I think if you go to Materium, we can find that the War Foundry is underneath the tier 3 Tome of the Dreadnought. Yeah, this one can give you +1 ranks on your units built in the city. So if you want to get another source of the ranks you need to get to +5, you can use this. This might even actually help you get to +5 on things like some of your tier 2 units. So keep that in mind. And then there was one other that people mentioned, the new Chaos Order tome, the Cleansing Flame or something like that. Where are you? Pandemonium, Devastation. There you are at the very bottom. I thought that it was somewhere in here. This also can give units +1 rank. And Wizard's Tower do the same thing for Magic Origin units, so that could be something you use with Phantasm Warriors. All right. Without further ado, we can take a look at the save file now from turn 1. I didn't do live commentary because I was just recording late to see what I could do, and I was very happy with the general results. I actually had exactly what I needed to get the last building for the 2 ranks that would take me to +5 ranks to get to legend here, basically. Oh, I was going to speed up the speed on this, wasn't I? Maybe a little bit. It'll look weird if I try and do this. Here, give me a faster speed. Give me ×2 because I'm slow. As you can see, there's 40 minutes here and we want to include somebody else's gameplay afterwards. So yeah, there's a lot of pickups, not a lot of fights, kind of disappointing, but that's fine. It's going to be a little bit random at the beginning of every game. Do the best you can with what you have. So I'm basically just scouting out what's around me. And I don't have to summon a regular. I definitely remember considering it would be good to spend my mana on getting extra units to help me just clear things like this node up here. I'm kicking myself already because I know what's coming up in the near future. I miss a Ritual of Alacrity here on I think turn 2, which would help me just move a little bit quicker. There's no other fights around here. So yeah, definitely could have gotten my tier 1 units building at legend rank a little bit earlier. But I think it's still an interesting showcase, and I'd be interested to see what other people are able to accomplish, how quickly they're able to get there. I think I left him enough movement to Ritual of Alacrity, and I don't use it. Oh yeah, I remember thinking, how come there's no damage? There should be damage on my units here. And it's because I have the Crowmaster bow. I almost forgot to mention that. That's pretty good for generally what we're doing here. Because we have to take a lot of fights to clear nodes to get to our bonuses quickly. At least that's my general thought process on this strategy. Thinking, I need to go that way now. Yeah, it's time. Ritual of Alacrity. Should have just pressed the button. What happens here? Oh, I think I was considering buying the warrior so that he could travel with them. Wouldn't have mattered. That probably was waste of Imperium. There we go. Waste my Alacrity. Just realizing it now. No. Oh well. So we're starting to see some actual nodes around us. There's not much out to the left, so in the end I decided I need to find stuff to the bottom. I need to go scout this out because it can't be just emptiness. Could be a bunch of stuff is underground and we can excavate to get those fights going because there are a lot of production nodes down there. Excavation can be very good for building things in your cities. Yeah, we need info. Important. You can see a lot of little pips around us, and I think myself, this would be a good location for Ritual of Alacrity. I really got to practice using that thing more because I always forget about it. I'm like, I'm going to use it. I'm going to set up my infrastructure. It's going to be fantastic, and then nothing happens. And I'm thinking, okay, I need 2 foresters here, and to boost this, I need 3 quarries because I've already gone through, and as you can see, it's turn 3, and I've gone through the basic infrastructure I need to start getting towards this building. It's the only thing that I cared about in this game. I didn't care at all about my shrines, my storehouse, my vendor. Like it would it be okay to do that? I remember getting a mine at one point and being like, actually, yeah, yeah, no, I have to just switch it over. That's definitely not efficient. Sometimes you don't know if what you're doing is just for practice or if it's actually going to be in a video, or at least that's my experience with Age of Wonders. Yes, they have friends. Yes, and this drove me a little crazy. I remember thinking, well, that kind of maybe throws this entire strategy because I need to keep clearing. I just need to. This is where my armies are. I was bitter at this point, and then later I realized, wait, I can get a bunch of quarries and foresters. This is everything you need for the strategy to work. I mean, the other way to do it is to go burn things down. I think I was able to get to minus 60 alignment. Oh, I should have shown that off actually. It'll come up. It'll come up in this recording. I wouldn't get to pure evil alignment. I got to like minus 60, which is not terrible. Right, I need to wait a turn, I think. I could have tried to fight that, but it's just not necessary. And I think, yeah, tier 1 units are all I care about in this one. Unfortunately, this guy can't get anywhere useful. Attack! Ah, we lost our scout and a tier 2 that is not going to get our bonuses. It's expensive. Costs money. Yes, who do you engage with so that you can loop around and do other fights? I remember thinking, okay, do I just go attack this city that's south of me now? Do I siege this for a few turns? Can I afford that? Hey, I actually did a Ritual of Alacrity. I did it. Go Winslayer. And now I only have 3 units to go attack into 2. But at least it's just those 2. They're fine. Oh, I forgot to mention if I was what settings I was playing on. I'm playing on normal, just like what Morgi was, like very large normal map. I can't click on the realm thing here, but you'll see at the beginning his um, of his playthrough that he showed off the realm traits. I think I'll show that off so that everybody's aware. This is generally what we're playing on. I think you can kind of tell when you look at the army strength of things. Right. Can I burn this? No. Okay. Sad. So then I decided I can't burn it. Let's go fight stuff. They can't all get in reinforcement range, so they're just going to come over to help out with future fights. But I still remember pretty much exactly what I did because I don't know. I think this is a pretty cool little map. I was happy that I was able to get my tier 1 legendary ranks built faster than Morky did in what he sent me. But then he's like, yeah, no, you're basically doing all of this at the cost of your ability to actually use the armies. So you can't really focus entirely on getting this strategy out if you don't have the infrastructure to support your armies. What's the point of being able to build armies? If you don't have the heroes to go claim territory, make cities, you're gonna fall behind. It's just how it is. Yep. Now we have Necromancer because I like Call to Chaos. I think it's actually pretty good. I know I'm wrong, right? I can't be right. That's a wrong opinion. Was it turn 7? Yeah, we're pretty much halfway to our goal. Just gotta finish this turn, I think. And yeah, I think these units have enough levels that they just either stun or kill things when they get next to them now. They're very, very efficient in auto combat. Why did I do that? I don't think that's the right direction to move now that I remember what I ended up doing. But I didn't know what I know now. I needed to scout, and my scout's dead. Right. I think restore is generally good. Keeps your guys alive. Nope. That'll make you slow. I do think you need to trade out this lance, or excuse me, this bow relatively quickly, but I was just playing quick here. So yeah, now I think I'm planning for my quarries to get the armory bonus, and I'm also thinking for the next building I'm gonna need, I think, 4 foresters and 4 um, quarries to get the boost as well as the base requirement to make the building. Yep, now I'm like, time to clear some nodes. I see more nodes. And it's good that I'm taking all these fights with food on them because they actually allow my city to grow without them using the income from just the city alone. Like, there you go, another 60 food. Yep. And now we're gonna get some gold from these locations. I can't siege. No. No. Alright. I remember. You go south now. Did I build a scout just to burn things down? I think I did. Yeah, no, that's not a terrible use of a scout just to go attack free cities or pillage free cities, provinces. There we go. There's another inefficient play. 100 Imperium. Give me the quarry. I have a goal that I want to accomplish. Volume up on this. Right, I remember that. It's just a little food stash waiting for me to go pick it up. Yeah, we want that fight, don't we? It's just funny when you find nodes like this just at the edge of your range. sometimes it makes it so you have to change your plan because that's a lot more food. Yeah, not a bad place for a ritual of alacrity. In case I wanted to get back to the city, I was thinking I might need the movement to just get people where they need to be. Can't believe I just ignore that small monster den. It's right next to my capital. It's right there. Yeah, so now I'm seeing I don't have the requirement for foresters, so that's a problem, right? So I look at what I have. That's a farm. Don't need that. You can be a quarry. You can be a forester. So that means one of my next expansions has to be a forester. Like that's just it. And I think at that point I have 4 quarries too. I believe that the 8th pop that I get was the I make a forester and then I have 4 of each. All right. Now I see two of the quarries, 2 of the foresters in that menu right there. Well, I do remember having 4 of each, so maybe I had 9 pops at that point, and my memory's just not serving me well. Getting old, it's a thing. Yeah, the other food. Like I said, I need food. Food good. Units level. Yeah, and then I think I remember being like, please, more nodes. Yes, more nodes. But also, are there any over here? And would it make sense to go into the Umbral Abyss? Probably not with this build. I mean, I can heal up pretty quickly with my Ritual of Alacrity, but I think there's plenty of stuff on the world map that I can clear for this general strategy. So yeah, it's time for Forester. Then I'll have 4 Foresters, and I'll need 1 more quarry after things have converted over. Yeah, generally not a bad trait. I do like the support skills. I think the Battle Seeker training does actually help keep them alive in the first few early fights. Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, if my hero is clearing, I need to try and siege with one of these guys, right? Maybe burn down a city. That will get me Signs of Evil to my max level, and that might actually work faster than building this building. But no, somehow I did it in 5 turns. Doesn't seem right. Or actually, it's like 4 turns because I haven't even started building the thing yet, have I? Like I know how this ends, but I'm having a hard time believing it. How did I get that much production? Just lucky nodes, I guess. I think there's another one there and another one also right next to it. The Wargs, I believe, is another production node. Yeah. Yeah, and then there's this one over here on the left. I see it there, bottom left. That's the last little node I remember clearing. That's where my armies ended on turn 15. I think, yeah, at this point I'm like, do I rush a unit? Do I buy, do I rush the building? And I might have been able to rush the building at this point, but then I wouldn't have the gold to build the next one immediately. On this turn, I think I can rush and start the building, so yeah. There's the fact that I'm clearing nodes that will help with that too. This was risky. If they spawned in a stack, they could totally kill this hero. I used gold on him. Gold I could have been using to build up my infrastructure. Do I even go down here on the bottom right? I think I just say no. No, we don't need it. That makes sense. Buy, there we go. Buy buy to 9 pots with another 90 Imperium. Okay, so from what I remember counting is I spent 105 Imperium and then a 90 Imperium, and I think at least another 15 expanding my city. Not optimal, but funny. Wait, do I really go this way? Wow. Okay. Oh, right, the Mage Lock. Yes, I remember you now. You're a very good unit. This giving me food. Yeah, no, I didn't need to spend all that Imperium. No! Just got 140 food. What are you doing, Winsleya? Playing fast or trying to. Yeah, and I did try to do it so I didn't actually reload, because obviously I could have done that Ritual of Alacrity earlier. I wanted to one quick recording, relatively quick, without any reloads, but I think right at the very end I make one misplay. I'm like, okay, if I don't do this right now, I won't be able to build the unit on turn 15. I can start the unit building, but I won't be able to rush by it because I want the gold. All right, yeah, no, I definitely remember saying I don't need to fight that Slither. It's time to go left. There's a production note there. I think I'm probably realizing that I need that production node, and then I also need the other one. The neat thing is if you start having powerful armies, you get to that event where you can get negative alignment or evil alignment just by fighting things pretty consistently, pretty early. Yeah, I could maybe brought them around a little further. Not the end of the world. And I think I was checking for summon a regular there. Right. 370. Nah. We can wait. We can do some fights or something. This wouldn't be a bad time for the Shadow Affinity thing. He just killed the hero there. Pretty easily too. It seemed to think it was a close fight, but I don't think it considered that I was going to have 6 more units from the Warhounds and then the damage that you get from harassed defenders. Gosh, I hope they don't patch this out anytime soon, because I want to use this in multiplayer. Just a little bit. Keep going between a couple builds. Yep, and now I can build that, and I'm like, oh, I can't rush it, but if I reload, I can. So that's what I do here. Oh well. It was a fun little playthrough. I'm glad I got a recording of it. But yeah, that's more or less how you get to the legendary tier 1 units at as soon as you build them. I think we could probably hop over to Morgi's thing here. You get the idea. I have the production now to make it cheaper, so I can rush this building, and then I can actually rush this unit out. And there we go. We got him. We got our legendary rank guy. While my original plan was to just show off one gameplay example from myself and the gameplay example from Morgi, I actually went back after recording the rest of this video and gave this strategy another attempt, with the understanding that I didn't need runesmiths plus Scions of Evil and the 3 buildings to get all the ranks I needed. So I dropped runesmiths, I believe, and decided that I would just use the production bonuses from a ancient wonder to try and get there earlier. So yeah, I found that I had a lot of success and was able to do that in 9 turns. So let's actually take a look at that playthrough here together. Take about 10 minutes on 2 times speed to go through, so not nearly as long as the others. And I just wanted to kind of talk through some of the thought process as we go, as the match progresses. But yeah, the I think Ancient Wonders gives plus 20% production to your cities that have Ancient Wonders connected to them. And if you get incredibly lucky with the dice roll, you can get a production landmark. And I figured that maybe one other way to make this go even faster would be to take the primal start with the mammoth leader, because they would get production for all of the Arctic zones around them. Yeah, as you can see, I'm getting plus 20 production once I connect that to my city, and it's plus 20% on top of, I think it's like base 40 or something along those lines. And with that, I was able to build the buildings much quicker than in my last attempt. And I didn't need to do much else other than develop that infrastructure. The neat thing about going for industrious is that they can go into the mountains and try and clear those out for a little bit of production bonuses, but that could just give you an item or maybe gold, which kind of helps you get towards this goal a little bit earlier. And I think that you still want to go clearing out things, because like that's how you get extra resources to get your stuff online a little bit faster. And I figured, yes, we want to get this thing on turn 2 if we can't get it on turn 1, which we weren't able to. But yeah, I don't I don't know what else you could get to make this go a little bit faster, other than like maybe a different perk other than the Ancient Wonders one. I think the Druidic Terraformers gives you another boost of like 20%, but you can't take that bonus and Ancient Wonders. So and Signs of Evil. You can't take all three of those, and I think you do want at least one of your society traits to give you a little bit of extra experience on your units. Right, and Zealot is really good here. I remember thinking that what other tome can I get to make this go a little bit quicker, a little bit more easily? And I saw that in the Tome of Zeal, not only does it have the summon for Zealots, but it also has the Fanatical Workforce, which, I'm going to be able to clear better with the Zealots, but the Fanatical Workforce is another plus 60 production with the bonus for getting to our production from the Ancient Wonders. I think that has a lot of nice synergy. And like with the other playthrough I was just showing off before this one, um, you're going to want 4 quarries and 4 foresters. I've got enough foresters in the north, so pretty lucky in that regard. I don't think foresters are guaranteed to, or you're not guaranteed to have the number of foresters forests that I have around my capital to get the building in your capital as easily. You may need to go to Town Hall 2 to get enough of those. I think 4 of them is the required amount to get to the big, nice building. And that's one of the reasons people don't like I think it's Ash Sabertooth, right? Because they struggle with getting that territory next to their capital at the very beginning of the game. They just have this ashland stuff that I actually have next to my capital, and you can use for quarries. But yeah, we're about halfway there. We're on turn 4. It's unfortunate that all my foresters are just like the basic stuff where you get a little bit of resources. You don't have a node on top of the 2 food and 2 production or 3 production that you get for a forester. But I figured that I need it for my building bonuses. So even though I could get a better one later and just get a quarry, that I'll go for the bonuses. I feel like, yeah, there's probably a smarter path to get towards a legend rank tier 1 unit that you can just recruit out of your capital on this map, but I was playing pretty quickly, playing a little bit recklessly. Can't even remember if I had to reload at any point here in this save because that was actually last night, similar to how I recorded the other one. I recorded it at night right before going to bed because I find this build idea really interesting. Yeah, I don't know what else to say here. As you can see, I'm close to a city. I could try and burn it down to get some signs of evil to get some gold, but I think what's better is uh, oh yeah, I deleted that unit because I needed a little bit more gold to get the building online earlier. That is one of the interesting limitations with this strategy is I actually was getting low on gold. And yeah, I think here I realized, did I need to delete that? Because I could have attracted population to get my boost, and then all of a sudden I don't need 170 gold. But it's okay because that means I'll have more gold for later. I don't like the archer units in general, so that was one that I may have disbanded eventually. I mean, if I guess I'm summoning in a zealot, I'm just basically replacing that tier 1 with the zealot then, aren't I? Saves me maybe 8 gold. I think you do need to have some good skills for the tier 1 units to keep them alive in combat. I believe this one was pretty similar to what I did on the last one where I was letting them regenerate a lot of HP, but also I had them with athletics so that they could all run together. It's easier to keep all my units in one group. Yeah, another situation where I'm like, what's better? Well, neither of them are any good. I just need more foresters. I think that would be my third, yeah, third forester, third quarry. We need one more of each, which I believe we do in the next 4 turns. Probably spend a lot more Imperium on that again, which is once again a giant waste of Imperium. This isn't the best way to spend your Imperium. At least I don't think it is. It might be pretty optimal if you can get tier 1 legendary rank units just coming out of your cities on turn 9, but I know people have been saying you spend your Imperium on cities and then Empire skills, and there are a few Empire skills that are just better than others. For example, the Shadow one is really good. You want that one early so you can get lots of research. Yeah, not an important choice. We're just getting something that'll make clearing a little bit easier. To be completely frank, I'm not sure why I'm spending so much time on this because my heroes aren't doing nearly as much as my economy is to make this strategy a reality. Sure, I'm clearing out things. I'm getting some gold here and there. I'm thinking I need gold this next turn in order to start this building as early as I want to. This is, I think, the second time in I think 2 or 3 turns I'm like, I need gold for this really good building to make this strategy come online as early as theoretically possible. So maybe I could have done it on turn 8, turn 7, but I don't know how. I'm not seeing the path to that. But yeah, if you're able to do that on your own using similar settings, I'd love to know how you're able to accomplish that. I think that'd be really interesting for other people to think about. I remember at this point I realized, wait, I'm playing industrious. I can prospect the mountains, but my city's getting like 200 production a turn at this point. 100, never mind. It starts to go up. I think at one point I could have sworn I saw 200 production on there, but I don't have all the quarries attached to it, so maybe that changes things a little bit. Anyways, I think, yeah, getting the production off of the nodes there's something like 40 production, which is good. It'll help you get things online a little bit faster. And I think that that scout could have been contributing more to my economy than, letting my armies know where they can clear and what's around us. Yeah, now it's up to 112. Why did I remember it as 200? 130, there we go. Because that's a really good production node there that we just picked up. One we had been ignoring for one reason or another. Yeah, we must be getting towards the end here. I remember seeing that this recording was about 20 minutes long. We're on ×2. Fanatic workforce. There we go. This is when we get to plus 200. There it is, plus 200 production. I wasn't remembering it wrong. It happened. It just took me a long time to unlock that spell. So yeah, I think if you start with that spell, you start prospecting, I can see you getting this online by turn 8 or 7. I don't know if you can do it by turn 6. I kind of want to play more around with this, but I think I'm ready to say that you've seen enough examples to use this idea on your own and play around with it on your own. And yeah, there's a lot of things that could go wrong to delay me in future attempts. And I don't really just want to play this map again after I already did. But this must be it. This is, I think, the last turn right where I get to the legendary rank guy. I just need like maybe the production on this node. Definitely have the gold for it. And now we're not only building legendary rank units right out of our city. It only takes one turn. That's one of the few things that this one of the neat things I noticed after thinking more about this strategy. It only takes one turn in this attempt and the other attempts just because of the amount of draft you get. All right, so Morgi's recording started a little bit earlier. He's selected his ruler here. It's an Eldritch guy. It's gonna actually do the real game. He's a pretty big fan of the Dark Ritual like me. Saw him doing that a few times, right? I remember as soon as his capital got to 2 pops, he enthralled a pop, and then he started Dark Ritual the next turn, which is probably the right move actually. I didn't consider that when I was making my tips video because I thought you still want to actually have friendly territory and grow your pops, your cities, but no, seems like he went for something a bit different here. But yeah, I'm actually looking at how long the video is, and it's 40 minutes, kind of like mine. We put on time to speed here, so I did it about as fast as he did in terms of playtime. I just did it, I think, yeah, I saw his turn 21, not 22. I did it, I think, 6 turns faster with my like hyper focused, super fixated version of his build here and his strategy here. Because as you can see, he's also doing barbarian stuff. It's just yeah, a different ruler, slightly different perks. Forget if he actually showed that off at any point here, but I think it does pop up for a little bit. They're athletic like mine, I believe, and I think they had tenacious. If he had any audio with this, but you know what? I don't usually have the audio in from the game. I'm gonna be the audio this time. Yeah, there's a banner. That's a good fight to take. How did he get down here on turn 3 so fast? It's because they're athletic and he's got this leader. Flesh weave, interesting. I thought I would go for the mad something rather. The mind control one. So he's taking Eldritch Influence and a few other things. Phantasm Warrior. Or Ritual rather. Yeah, he's enthralling. He's dark. He's dark knowledge ritualing. Love it. And he actually does do his ritual of alacrities, right? Isn't that surprising? No, it's not surprising. Get a spirit hawk. I would be evil. Yeah, so the ruler can't quite get there in ritual of alacrity. Not sure if that was a misclick or if he's trying to. Yeah, I think he's actually gonna Ogre's Keep and then do the thing. Yeah, not a terribly tricky fight, particularly with the build he's using. Yep. I don't know why I thought that'd have enough movement. It's because I don't play Barbarian enough to actually consider Ritual Alacrity like appropriately. What you can do and what you can get away with. Oh, you need to finish your Dark Ritual. You can't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. Knowledge. Knowledge is power. those summons. Summons good. Yeah, this is a really good engagement strategy, and I really wish I had the irregular thing in my attempt because I think that would have helped me just clear a little bit faster. But at the same time, you need gold. You just need gold on hand. I did champion because I think that helped me get the gold that I needed. Stability isn't bad for helping out with production and gold income. And you can also build units a little bit quicker. So I think there might be a really good place for champions in the tier 1 fixated or hyper focus build because yeah, you'll be able to take advantage of that production a little bit more effectively on those tier 1 units at the very beginning of the game. Now from here, you gotta enthrall more pops. No, wait, no, you don't. You already got the thralls. I guess, yeah, if you kill off enough stuff, you don't need to enthrall your pops. And you can actually grow your cities. But I agree. I think whenever you can Dark Ritual, Dark Knowledge Ritual, you should. Makes a lot of sense. He's just burning. He's being evil. That's how you get your gold. And these units are looking like they could definitely benefit from a Ritual of Alacrity. Is he gonna double Ritual of Alacrity? Use one to no, because the other one won't be ready at the same time. That's very interesting. Because they cost upkeep. They're not free. I love how he never loses. Well, he did just use a unit like last turn, but he very rarely loses units. It's just taking fights, like so many fights constantly. One thing I did notice is, yeah, Morgi was getting all the basic infrastructure. It doesn't have the vendor yet, but they got the shrine, they got the storehouse. I think the very first building was storehouse, which shocked me. I was like, whoa. I know a lot of people who say don't worry about food, it's fine, but they did change it. I think somewhat recently, and that might make food better now. What would be this? Yeah, zeal. Zeal's good. Zeal's good damage. It also lets you get access to a very powerful buff skill that I think the AI knows how to use relatively effectively. So it's good for clearing in that regard. Why did he break off those two? Oh, for experience, because he knows exactly what he can get away with in terms of units in a fight. Oh, right, he mentioned something. Morgie did say something about picking up something in the umbral space that would have made it so he could have actually had his units produce at legend rank a little bit earlier, but he felt like that wasn't like reliable enough to end the video on. I think that was the right call to go past that because not everybody's going to get that pickup when they get they're not going to get that result when they get that pickup, and that pickup isn't particularly common. Just looking at the time thinking, wow, yeah, no, he's spending about equal amount of time in the first 10 turns as he does on the next 10 turns. Maybe a little bit faster, but the later turns should take longer. You have more stuff to do. You have more units to look at, more locations to look at too. Now, if that's the case, he's going to have to go into the, if it, what I'm remembering is accurate, then he's going to have to go into the Umbral Abyss pretty soon. Oh, a unit. Yeah, still not going for the blacksmith. Doesn't see the need to get there early. Yeah, leaving enough movement to just start a siege even if it's not on your hero, it's something that's really, really easy to mess up. Even if you've practiced it, or even if you've done it like hundreds of times before, you think you're going to, and then oh wait, everybody's out of movement. Or oh wait, we're actually somehow a one hex away because I thought my guys were faster. Or even better, somebody's blocking the road, an ally steps in front of you. That's the best one right there. Oh, that's so much gold. Maybe I should have gone to the Umbrelbis. Turn 11, he's just picking up 400 gold. Bunch of production. Yeah, no, I would love to see how quickly people can replicate this strategy, how quickly you can start building the tier 1 legendaries in your city. And, I'd love to get people's thoughts on if that is optimal or not, because I feel like considering how good the tier 1 units are, it actually might be worth it. It might be worth spending the Imperium on just to grow your cities to get there a little bit earlier and have your legendary units to either one defend your city or go on the offense. It's not that hard to get them to legendary rank. They only need, I think, 80, yeah, 80 experience total. There's a banner. There, they're legendary rank. See, that's another way to do it. It's pretty funny. Look at him. Look at him go. There's no stopping him. Hey, there you go. This is +1 rank. Plant units? Oh wait, I thought it was all units, but still, yeah. Regardless, pretty funny. I don't know that one. Don't know that spell. I don't use it in games. But yeah, anything that can give you an extra rank it's good. You can go into the database and search up just the word rank, and it'll tell you all the things that interact with it. I believe I was able to get a list of buildings like that. That's how I got to the 2 buildings that give the production bonus that boosts your units' strength when they're built. I should have definitely been Umbral Disciples and just sent an army down to clear that, because I think that's definitely a path to get there before turn 15 to get the good stuff. The whole point of this video. I said it so many times I don't feel like I need to say it again. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, his knowledge income I think is already close to twice what I had at the end of turn 15. So I as you can see was completely neglecting some very important parts of my empire. He's getting plus 65 Imperium a turn, whereas I think I was getting like maybe 50 or so. So yeah, you want to clear out things, get them in your empire. No, a hero's dead. He's still burning down everything. Yep. I think he must use the pure evil alignment to get there because he's not building the buildings yet. But you won't need many to get +5 ranks if you're using Science of Evil and the rune smiths, I think it is. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense if you've got the ability to resurrect him. I think that was a resurrection, right? Or was that? I can't. That happened so fast. You may have just hired a new hero. I'm not seeing souls on the screen. I missed that. It's one of the things about watching it in ×2 speed. You're gonna miss some things. He's burning down one of the outposts he built in the south. Yeah, you need gold. Gold good. I mean, you can always just clear things in the Umbral Abyss. Then what is upkeep? 2 pops? Wow. Yeah. No, the thing that I find actually very valuable about watching this is that Morgi is totally fine with saying this unit might die. Even with the changes to experience and how valuable the tier 1 units are with the experience, it seems like you can kind of throw them away a little bit because when you build new ones, they're pretty close to being as strong as the ones that die in combat. They're just a few tiers away, and there's some ways to boost them up to be as good as they can be. I can't get over that. Legend rank out of the gate. Yeah, I think if you're enjoying watching this playthrough of Morgi, of what I did earlier, I actually did a similar thing explaining experience back before it changed so radically. And whilst, experience works very differently than the way it used to, there's still some principles in there that I think people would find helpful. So I would recommend people go back and check it out if they haven't watched that. It just basically goes over how I think tier 1 units give 4 experience, tier 2 units give 6 experience when you defeat them in combat. That's what they give. And how you can use that to calculate what your units actually would get out of a fight, because it's not immediately obvious. The calculator doesn't quite tell you, or it doesn't tell you what you're going to get from a fight until after the fight is done, because um or I don't know why, but I find that interesting because the number doesn't change whether or not you have your units live or die, but it can change if an enemy retreats and survives. I think then you used to not get the experience for that. Maybe that's different because now captured units grant experience, and they kind of fall into the same category in my head. They don't have the big red symbol at the end of a fight. It's slightly different. Look at him go, just burn everything. Yeah, this is how you get the pure evil alignment. This is what you do. You go find a free city that's big and you just burn everything. That must have been a misclick, right? That seemed like less than efficient movement, but hey, not, not one to judge. All right, turn 19. I think we're 2 turns away from the end of uh, this video or something like that. I know, spoilers, right? But yeah, no, this is something I think I need to go back and watch a few more times just to kind of evaluate whether or not I've been playing correctly based off of the choices Morgy's been making here. Because I just generally, I I uh I know he's good and I trust his opinion, his experience a lot. Look, it's 1 unit. Wait, why did they spawn in 1 unit? That's not right. 90. He's at 90. Just needs 2 more, and I think that's going to happen from burning down that location and another location. No, not the hero. Wait, the hero? How? He just keeps hiring them. Doesn't matter. Too funny. Yeah, there's just nice free pickups. Here we go. You're evil now. That seems to be almost legend at upon recruitment. I saw that it was like 1 away. What's he gonna do to make it so he can get legend? Maybe it was turn 22. Maybe I saw something wrong earlier. Ah, my brain. Guess he'll have enough gold that he could probably rush that building and another building that boosts up units on this following turn. Oh wait, there he is. He just got recruited with at legend rank. Wait, I missed something. I have to go back and see why it came in at legend, because it looked like it wasn't going to be legendary to me. Well, regardless, he's doing it. He's building them. Oh, it's because I think he just went over to super evil alignment. That must have been the last thing he needed to get there. Well, yeah, that's it. That's everything I have for you in this video. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you around. Have a good one.